Payday 2 has a new update called the Family Matters Update, and it introduces 3 new DLC to the game. You can buy the DLC in a bundle or separately, and the DLC in question are the Breakfast in Tijuana Heist, the Weapon Color Pack 2, and the Fugitive Weapon Pack. So today, I'm going to give my first impressions and a brief review of these DLC to let you guys know whether or not I think this DLC is worth your money. I gotta say, I'm pretty glad DLCs can be bought separately, since this time, the heist has really disappointed me in many different ways. So I won't go too far in depth, but I did want to share my first impressions with you guys. The entire heist can be summed up as an arbitrary scavenger hunt, and a very poor one at that. The heist, it can be done in either loud or stealth, so for all the stealth enthusiasts out there, you have something to do. But honestly, they're both very similar in premise, so I can actually talk about both at the same time. So much of it boils down to just finding objects for your objective, and you aren't told where it is or how to find it, just that it's somewhere on the map. So for example, when going loud, you have to burn some evidence, and you're told to find fuel for the fire. But you aren't told where it is or what it looks like, just that it's somewhere there. So I ran around for minutes on what is otherwise a small map, only to have to wait for the objective marker to tell me exactly where it is. And this goes on for nearly all of the objectives. Finding the armory, but all of the doors look the same, and again, lock does not tell me where to find it. It's honestly one of the most frustrating heists I've done in a while. It feels like a modder could have done a better job. Nearly all of the objectives feel super arbitrary, and they don't really serve other purposes than to pad the length of the heist itself. As for the map design, it's also not exactly what I would call great. Unlike San Martin, this map doesn't feel like it has much flow to it, and it's mostly just doors and rooms in random areas for the sake of having them. But on one small note, it does seemingly run better than San Martin, so maybe those with lower end machines will have a better time. It's just disappointing on so many fronts. I mean, this is a heist where we break out Almir. You know, maybe it's not quite as exciting as breaking out Hoxton to the fanbase, but I would hope that, it would be somewhat epic and filled with shenanigans, because it's Almir. But nope, it's just a standard heist with subpar objectives, and a really dull escape as well. I mean, one of the objectives when going loud is literally to protect the sprinkler system so you can burn evidence. Like, really? And escorting Almir was done in such a dull and boring way. You literally just walk with him and he doesn't stop for anything. So, unless you're dying to play any new map, I'd save your money for this one. This one's a hard pass from me. The Weapons Pack DLC is called the Fugitive's Weapon Pack. Overkill added a sniper, a pistol that comes in single secondary and akimbo primary, and an LMG. So I'll do a deeper review of these weapons in a later video, but for now, the quick and dirty is that the sniper and the pistol, they're nothing special. They have some unique models and some unique mods that are associated with them, but they're still basically clones of stuff that we have in the game, and free ones at that. So that's not to say that they aren't useful or that they can't be good. With the right setups, you'd still be able to do work with them, and even on the highest difficulties. Snipers are a little bit harder to work with since they won't be able to one-shot a lot of specials without some insane damage skills, but pistols, they're my favorite type of guns, and they're really easy to work with since you have crits, and you can make them highly competitive for Death Wish, or Death Sentence even. The LMG, on the other hand, is the only real standout one since it's different from all the LMGs that we have in the game. It has the highest damage and the lowest rate of fire, which makes it incredibly strong for clearing any non-special enemies, but it does suffer at killing special enemies like bulldozers. So I actually like it quite a bit from the little bit that I've used it. The sniper and pistol, though, they were honestly very forgettable. So if I were to gauge how worth it this separate pack of DLC is, it's only about 33% worth it in my eyes. Though, if you somehow missed out on previous DLC that added these weapon types to the game, such as LMGs and snipers, this is not a terrible pack since it does offer a decent bit of variety in the weapon lineup, as opposed to, say, the Federalis pack, which is literally just all pistols. For the last DLC, we have the Weapon Color Pack 2, which is a little bit more interesting this time. So it's similar to the last color DLC pack where a bunch of color modifications are added and you can use them to customize your guns as you see fit. The main difference though is that this time they're also more geared toward patterns, as you can see. So they're a little bit more interesting this time around. Again though, this is a really subjective thing, so you're pretty much the only one that can decide if these colors are worth your time and your money. Oh, and one last thing to note, this isn't actually a part of the DLC, but it's a free update for everybody. Yes, I said free. Overkill has added glove customization to the game. For now, it looks like there's no new gloves, but only the ones that we've acquired from outfits that they've added from the previous DLC. So you can customize the gloves on your heisters, and that's nice and all, but goddamn, Overkill, how late are you? I mean, we've had glove mods since forever, and good ones at that. Well, I guess it's the thought that counts, right? So there you guys have it. Overall, this DLC pack was much more disappointing than the previous ones. Maybe it's because my level of expectations were lower in the previous ones due to the situation that Overkill was in, but now I guess that's more or less faded. I mean, there are very few redeeming qualities of this update, and I'd say it's better to save your money this time around. I'm still of the belief that this game has really outlived its life cycle. Playing this game in 2020 makes me feel bad. I mean, it looks pretty subpar, it runs very poorly on so many maps, and the game balance is all just whack. So, unless a DLC can really wow me, I'd wager that the developer efforts are better spent elsewhere. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, how about Payday 3, huh?